Welcome, adventurers! You've made it to the Wind Down, the live stream at the end of the Geekverse. It's a chill place to hang out here as the sun sets on another day. We're here to have a little chat, reflect on the day's successes, and prepare for a better tomorrow. So settle in with your favorite beverage this evening.
May I tempt you with a cup of chamomile?
Why, thank you, Dory. I would love a mug of tea this evening, but perhaps you would rather have some coffee, though I do recommend decaf this late in the evening. Or perhaps maybe a cold brew is more your style.
Oh, no thank you, Dory. A little red wine. For me, Isaac.
Sounds like an excellent choice, Gandalf. Whatever you want, it's yours. Could I offer you a bourbon, a martini, an old-fashioned, or something perhaps a little stronger? Ugh. Well, I mean, if that's really your thing, then okay, but I hope we can find something a bit better than that.
Romulan ale. Why, Bones, you know this is illegal.
I only use it for medicinal purposes.
All right, now we're talking. I'm Heath, and I'll be your host. Welcome to my home. Come one, come all, writers, artists, sculptors, storytellers, board gamers, streamers, dungeon masters, fans of sci-fi, fantasy, geeks of all kinds. Whatever your fandom, you have a place here. For soon it will be time for another long rest so that we can recover our hit points, our spells, and our abilities, so we'll be ready to fight on for another day tomorrow. But first, we all need a little time to reflect. Because you've survived another long, perilous day of wilderness treks, dungeoneering, and random encounters. And that's worth celebrating. Let's tell the tale. It's time for the Wind Down. It will improve your life. It really will. Give it a chance. Here we go. Hey, everybody. Welcome. Good evening. Welcome to a chill evening here in my office. So welcome to my home, welcome to the office, and welcome to the Wind Down. Again, we've been making pretty good use of the Wind Down atmosphere and also the intro over the past, 3 weeks since we've been on the Kickstarter campaign. It is great to have you. We are winding things down. We are now less than an hour to go in the Cultists Kickstarter campaign. I feel like I've been sitting here writing emails quite a bit and writing Kickstarter updates and all of that all afternoon. Although I did get to spend, 2 or 3 hours, maybe 2.5 hours working on the layout of the Cultists of Cthulhu's ABCs, and I will show that to you if you'd like. Not a whole lot to see at the moment, but I will show it to you. So I'm going to bring this in. Doug wasn't able to make it tonight. I'm very sorry. Doug has just absolutely been slammed with work, and I understand that. So Doug has been slammed with work all afternoon. He said, all August. He said that he's having a record-breaking August as far as business goes, and so he has been having to deal with that, which is really important. Making money and business is very important. So maybe sometime in the future we'll get to watch the Cultist Season 2 with him and discuss. But in the meantime, it's just going to be us, and we're going to be hanging out. I see we got lots of great people here. We've got Tomocrat. Welcome, Tomocrat. It's great to see you. We've got Better with Bacon. Hey, Bacon, great to see you. I sent out a couple of different links through Discord. So we've got Our Strange Meanderings. Welcome, great to see you. Dave Fletch, great to see you. Have we had you in the comments before? I've got my evening beverage right here is it Cultist coffee? Yes, it is. The Cultist coffee mug right here. So welcome to you, Dave. And then also the Tabletop Scholar. I saw that you were in the comments on the Kickstarter page. Welcome to you, Tabletop Scholar. This one goes out to you. Tomocrat's back. You see here? Yep, Kickstarter party time. HZL. Welcome, HZL. Here's to you. Great to see you this evening. Let's see. Brett says this is the new live intro. It was the live intro for the Wind Down stream that I've had for a while. It's just that we haven't done a Wind Down in a while. I created live intros for all of my different shows, and so the Wind Down kind of got slid back. That we didn't do so many wind downs, especially when we were doing Table Talk, which got moved over to its own channel. And I was thinking about that today. I was wondering if there was some way that we maybe a rebranding of Table Talk or something like that. So I was thinking about that today because we did kind of, as I was trying to get the Kickstarter online, we hadn't been doing Table Talks, and Brianna took a sabbatical from that because she had to get her short film going, and Doug has been busy. Let's see. Water is perfectly fine. Whatever it is that you need, it's tonight. There's no judgment as far as beverage here. It is the wind down. Yes. Let's see. Tomocrat says you have won my wait. You have one. You have. Well, I try to be active. Like when I do the Kickstarter, I'm thinking about that as we go forward here. I like the Kickstarters. This has been a 3-week Kickstarter. I'm kind of thinking we're going to talk more when this is completely over about like where to go from here, because this has been just a massive effort getting the Cultists relaunched, all episodes, the game done, getting all the shirts, getting all that rearranged to get that reprinted. I mean, all of this kind of thing that has been going on. This has been a major thing. Probably too major. I mean, there was a lot that I wanted to do with the Cultists because it is so special. Everything that it means to me, to Brianna, to a lot of other people who have done that and have made this show and have, been involved with it. There was a lot of things that I did for the Cultists that I probably won't do again. There's a lot more stuff that I want to make and that I want to create, but I can't do it like I did the Cultists, because if I do that, well, I'll be dead. And I'll only have about 10% of it done or something. So I'm going to have to figure out how to do more stuff. We're going to have to do more stuff faster. So I do love the Kickstarters, and I love doing special things, which, by the way, when we talked about this, so the link should be in the comments. But one thing that I was talking about this morning on the morning grind, I'll also go ahead and put a link in. The link should be in the description, but let me go ahead and put a link in the comments as well. If I can find it. Oh, right here. Here is the window. Link to the Kickstarter. That I did decide to go ahead and upgrade everybody's RPG book. If you pledged for an RPG book on the Kickstarter campaign, then I'm making it a hardback book. I want to do a hardback book. That's kind of like what I was just talking about, that, well, this is a really special campaign because the Kickstarter, the Cultist itself is so meaningful and has been such an important part of my life and so many other people's lives, that and then the RPG kind of spiraled out of control. It was intended to be something smaller, like a 48-page softback book, but it grew to, I'm not exactly sure what the final page count is going to be, because I've only have the layout about 97% finalized. So it may change by a page or two. But over 100 pages, like 103 pages or something like that. That's hard enough to be. That's long enough to become there's a lot of things you could say right there. That's thick enough to become a hardback book. So I just said that if you're here with us, let's make that something special that everybody who's on the Kickstarter has, especially because so many of you have been involved in its creation. It has definitely been a community effort, as we've been on the morning grind talking about in the comments. I'm still going to make the softback book. I may put that on the Ravenkeep website later, or I might make it available through RPG Now or something like that if you want to do the print on demand. I haven't decided exactly how I'm going to do that yet. But nonetheless, for those people who are on the Kickstarter campaign, we'll do a hardback version of it, and I think it will... I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. I think it is. Doug has been very busy. In fact, he was even talking, I don't know when we're going to do Theodora book 2. I'm not sure what the title of that is, but Theodora book 2, he had written Faraway Bird, the book about the Empress Theodora, and I am not sure, he has been writing the second book, and I'm not sure when that's going to be. Oh, so HZL says, I've shared the Kickstarter all over my socials, and I really like the idea of it. Thank you very much, HZL. That is excellent. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Okay, so Dave is first here. So let's see here. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm proud of the Kickstarter page. Hey, we do have a guest today. We do have a guest. So as we're winding down here, the Titterpig Rancher, also known as Sable Phoenix, is here. Hey, Sable.
Howdy. Can you guys hear me okay?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Perfect.
How are
Thanks
you
for the
doing?
invite. I'm doing good. I'm excited for I'm excited. Congratulations on a very successful Kickstarter. That's very exciting, actually. I'm very much looking forward to getting my hands on it.
It has been exciting. There's been a whole bunch of stuff on there is a whole bunch of stuff on this campaign. Too much, probably.
There's a lot. It's
I just wanted.
Like I was surprised that you only had a $500 starting goal.
Well, that's because I did it. That's because I did it all print on demand. So, I mean, well, there's no. I figured that we would not be able to do like, hey, let's all print. Let's print 1,000 copies of the RPG or something, and then that would put the, the minimum level, to, be something I didn't think we were going to reach. Hey, look, Bacon is also here. But yeah, so I did this by just saying I intentionally stripped everything out of it that was going to require anything other than like print on demand and things that could be just done. That's how I wanted it to be.
Gotcha. Hey, Bacon, been a while.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah, it's been a little bit.
I think the last time we got together was just for some games during Crit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess we were together for some games during Crit. But what have y'all been up to?
Not a whole lot. That's not true. I've actually been up to quite a bit. I'm trying. It's just trying to have conversations with people and write scripts and write my own stuff and trying to chase some other people down and work. And it's been, it's been busy. It's been busy.
What kind of scripts are you trying to write? Something for you or something you're writing?
No, YouTube stuff. Just the YouTube stuff. When I pick a topic, I like to script it out before I get actually in front of the camera because it's a safety net. I feel more comfortable when I have a script in front of me than when I'm just talking off the cuff. I can sometimes talk off the cuff and it's all right, but I don't know. That's Bacon stuff.
Bacon does have his own channel. If you're into the tabletop gaming stuff, he has some fantastic videos, especially on archetypes and then also the theory behind role-playing games. So please do check out the Better with Bacon channel.
Yes, deep thoughts on RPGs, stuff that most people don't talk about. It's very interesting stuff.
Have you started your channel yet, Titterpig Sable?
I have a couple of ideas of channels, and neither one has gotten off the ground yet. Not least of which because I'm currently in between employment. So
okay.
I have current real life concerns that are taking precedence too.
I understand. I feel like I'm clearing a major mental hurdle by getting this Kickstarter done and having the whole channel relaunched and things like that.
Yeah,
because it after this, especially after all the rewardship, that will clear a lot of space for me. I've been thinking about this for a long time.
Yeah, it's like I was talking with Doug the other day, and he said something along the lines of, if you chase two rabbits, you don't get dinner or something like that. So I figure I have to actually focus on one thing and get one channel going before I do anything else.
Yeah, that's true. I'm probably the poster child of having that as a problem. I really am. I was going to bring up, if I can. Oh, there we go. So I'm going to take this down. And this is not a whole lot to share, but it's just showing that this has been going on. I was working on this again this afternoon. And, well, if I go to share screen. Yeah, here we go. I got the layout ready for the Cthulhu ABC's book and have been working on putting stuff in. It was a little bit more challenging than I was expecting, or because everything is. I guess I should have anticipated that. But the way that I had designed the video, I don't necessarily have all of the right screen grabs. I'm having to go back and, or the image, so I'm have to go back and get some screen grabs. But nonetheless, I got it laid out. So Cthulhu's ABCs, or the beginning here. Oh, why is this? I think this is a problem with the way that I'm understanding how to use. Yeah, because when I do that, it's a problem with how I'm understanding how to use InDesign. I'm trying to learn, Bacon. I'm trying to learn.
Yeah.
Apparently, I've got like the words on one side, on one layer, and the image on another layer here, and got them reversed. That's why I keep going back and forth, and when one's right, the other's not. So okay, I got to figure that all out. But I decided to go ahead and say, I was like, who am I going to dedicate this to? I don't know. I was trying to figure that out, and so eventually I just decided, for all the 1,000 young, grandmother, we are coming. So
that's brilliant. That's brilliant.
That was at the end, we put a joke into the Cultist season 1, their credits in season 1 and season 2, and so that actually comes from that. Season 1, we had thank you to all the 1,000 young, or an extra special thanks to all the 1,000 young, and then that was hidden in the credits. You'll see.
I missed that.
So we had, yes, thank you. Yeah, we had I think it was special thanks to Andrew and Kim for letting us use their house and things like that. And the next one was extra special thanks to all the 1,000 young. And then in season 2, we did something like that. And so there's a pop-up in the credits that says, grandmother, we are coming. Which is one of my favorite lines. I do love that. So I hadn't put in all the text yet, but I've been dropping in the right images. So I was like, okay, so after that, I was thinking we just go to a picture of the band right here. This is going to be, it's 8.5 by 11. So that's what you're looking at, so it's not the whole pic, but it gets the lead singer, who eventually we're gonna have to name. Hey, if anybody has names for this, eventually we're gonna have to name this band, which I tentatively said, okay, this would be, or tentacly said that this was Big Daddy Dagon and the Deep Ones. I don't know. I just put that in when I was trying to get to Shopify, which, by the way, is still not up. I did submit a ticket to Lander, but they haven't replied. But anyway, we might end up needing some kind of name for the band and also name for these characters. By far, one of the most common comments that you see over and over again on social media is people are like, why wasn't Animal drumming? I've
that I'll tell you what, that's a really great comment, though, right? Because people are expecting you to have been, working with the creature shop with Henson. So that's a pretty great comment.
It is.
Well, that's true.
That's high praise.
It's not something you can ever make good on, but
right.
No, there is. Gonzo has a cameo in this, but. I did put him in there. I'll tell you, actually, the Gonzo has the cameo in the Cthulhu ABCs. I didn't necessarily intend for that to be the case. I think it fits, but I asked for a Muppet that looks like Gonzo, that is crucified on a cross in the middle of a fire. And of course, the AI said, "Oh no! I
can't use that imagery.
I can't make an imagery of a Muppet crucified on a cross. I can't do that." And so I said, "Well, okay, just make something that you can make." And it made Gonzo. That's why he's got his hands out. He's not on a cross, but he's in a crucified position. Burning in fire. So it could make that, but it couldn't put the cross behind him. It could. So I was like, all right, fine, we'll just use that.
I mean, I got from that particular image, I got the idea that he's kind of just like in religious ecstasy or whatever, like religious madness. And it's like, the fire or whatever. So I think it still works.
Well, yeah,
the different connotation though.
Yeah, I think it does. And it's fun to kind of see him as a cameo in this context. Dave says that the Cthulhu ABCs found, a lot of people I think found, especially Strange New Meanderings, Cthulhu ABCs is how I found all the madness. And we did, we went, like I said, this morning, I think I mentioned that we went over 100,000 views on TikTok. And I was trying to find You Can't Summon Cthulhu with Sour Cream and Onion on Facebook, it is now at 13,000 views. So the clip of that I put has gone to 13,000 and has about 300 likes on it.
That's so interesting that it got
weird.
traction on Facebook, not compared to, other places. It was so much better there. I wouldn't have expected that.
I have no idea. And it's always whenever I like put something, it's like, oh yeah, I should just put it this. I have this and I haven't put it over here. I should. That's what all of a sudden takes off. Like, I put out multiple different clips of Cthulhu's ABCs to TikTok. Nothing really got traction, to speak of. A couple thousand views. One of them had like 6,000 views, but whatever. I mean, it was nothing really big. And then I was like, oh yeah, I do have the whole thing. Let me just post that. I got, 5 minutes sitting here, and then TikTok found it. But yeah, 13,000 views for You Can't Summon Cthulhu with Sour Cream and Onion, 304 on Facebook. So, right now, Facebook is the one that's the least censorious for me personally. Don't know. Mike says, any lessons learned from creating the RPG or the Kickstarter that you can generalize to other projects? Well, like I said, my lesson as we go forward is like this one's taken so long to get off the ground because of everything that I created as far as the videos went and all the different products. Although, I mean, a lot of those were created earlier. I mean, and had tried to be released before, or actually had been released like on an Indiegogo before, like the shirts and things like that. That had been done before on just on an extremely limited basis. It's like Brianna had already created those, and I was like, hey, if these things have already been created, it's time to go ahead and put them out again. Take the whole thing and just release it all. But going forward, let's do 3 things. A book and something else, and maybe something else, and nowhere near as many videos. There are like 167 videos on the Cultists Kickstarter page, Cultists YouTube page.
Really? Wow. I didn't realize it was that many.
Yeah, there are a lot. Yeah, and I, behind the scenes videos and, all of that, and I won't make any of those again. Like for, anything else going forward, I won't do it. They were fun, especially because they were important, especially because it was the Cultists. But like going forward, I'm not going to do a whole bunch of behind the scenes videos for like other things. Dave says that he names his band Big Daddy Dagon and the Deep Ones in honor of Rob. And so it's not all, but I did put out the entire album of all the videos or all the songs that are on the Cultist channel right now. HZL says, I hate AI really much. I understand this is mainly out of pocket for funding, I think, but you do you still love the stuff. Well, I would love to be able to do a make all the puppets and things like that. I mean, that would be amazing. But it's not in the cards.
Yeah, that would be a significant outlay of funds to do that.
Yeah, and actually, I just made the Cthulhu ABCs because I had been making, learning the tech and seeing what was going on with the technology and so forth. And really, I just was like, hey, I technology is updating like every month, really. But it had been a few months since I made a video, and I was like, so what can we do now with AI? And I just was like, oh, let's make this Cthulhu ABCs. I want to see what I can do with that. So I was just making that. And I was thinking, even while I was making it, is this a waste of time? Do I really need to be spending my time trying to make a Cthulhu ABCs video here? And then that's the one that took off, of course.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, you never know. And I did have, HCL, somebody on Facebook did ask me, one of the more reasonable comments that I got, as far as why did I do it this way, was on Facebook. And this person did ask me why would you use AI generation to do these Muppets when there are so many people out there who are just amazing puppet makers and amazing puppeteers who would love to have the opportunity to work on a project like this? Why didn't you just hire them?
I mean, the correct answer is, I think you'd love to have the opportunity to hire them, but
right.
It costs money.
Yeah, that would
and
be
takes time. That's the thing, is like it's time and money, and it's all about opportunity costs. Like, love it or hate it, AI generation, large language generation, is not going anywhere. In fact, you need to know how to do it for the future. So
I mean, people, and I've said this before, people, I'm viewing this similarly to the printing press. People had the same problems with the printing press. They had the same problems with the horseless carriage when that first came out. There were, people are going to lose their jobs, et cetera, et cetera. Like, I work in an industry where we could be very vulnerable to AI, but I thankfully work for an extremely ethical company, and we're still employing AI in our day-to-day. It's just that the companies recognize that this is a tool. It's not a replacement for human people. It is a tool. Right. And if you use it correctly, then it allows you to refocus your attention onto other problems that can't be solved with AI.
Right.
So there's a diversification of ability or of availability with regard to your time and your resources, et cetera, et cetera. So, like, there are tons and tons and tons of justifications for AI. I'm not going to sit here and pretend as though those fears that people have are not valid. They're very, very valid. But, there has to be. We've been experiencing a breakdown of communication for so long. I think that it's very. I think that we need to knock that off. I think that we need to get together and have reasonable conversations about it. You don't have to expect to change anyone's mind. You don't have to expect to bring anyone over to the AI side or turn anyone from the AI side. You at least have to be willing to have the conversation. It's no longer good enough to say, I don't like it, and if you like it, you're my enemy. Because that's not true.
Right.
There's a conversation.
That goes for a lot of things nowadays.
Yes.
Like well, I won't get into that because that's a whole other subject, but a can of worms. But the idea that there's only ever a right and a wrong, and if you're on the other side, then you're wrong, type of a thing, has been way overdone in our discourse for more than just AI. But I mean, the AI conversation is just a microcosm of it.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say that, like, for somebody like that person who's like, why didn't you hire the person who really, is just a fantastic puppet maker, or the person who's a fantastic puppeteer?
Mm-hmm.
I would say two things. The first is that, one, I'm not exactly sure that that's my job. If they're really looking for an opportunity to make an amazing video, then they need to be doing the kinds of things that I was doing and just make their own videos. Like, I mean, get out there and be making your own videos and things like that. But even that aside, a lot of people who are just caught up on, like, the puppet making side of this, or you're just focused on that. Let's just say that, just focused on that. Why didn't you hire someone to make these puppets for you? If you go puppet making, then there's also a ton of other things that go on. Like, okay, then we're going to have to, like, have a warehouse to build these sets in. And then we're going to have to actually build these sets. Okay, so we're going to have to hire people to build sets. And we're going to have to rent the warehouse to have people in. And then I'm going to have to pay a camera crew.
Yeah.
To come in.
And lighting.
And all the lighting crew and stuff like that. And I mean, you could spend easily $100,000.
Yep.
Yeah, there's generally speaking
$250,000.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Generally speaking, there's a critical lack of awareness with regard to what it takes to get something in front of a camera.
Yeah.
Even with regard to stories, I am sure you both have the experience of relating a funny circumstance or situation to someone who laughs and goes, "Oh, haha, that would make a great movie." No, it wouldn't. That's barely a scene in a movie. Like, no, what are you talking about? So, like, there's a critical lack of awareness with regard to everything that goes on to writing a script, let alone putting it up in front of a camera. Look, you can't know everything, and I'm not asking people to know everything, but there's definitely more to it than just asking someone to make a puppet. There's way more to it.
Yes.
So,
We've all been on. All three of us have been on film sets before. it's
it's a
way
massive
more
operation.
involved than you think it
Yeah.
is once you get the end product.
Well, you see, I've
Do
been
you mind if I
dropping
drink
in.
on camera? I'm not. It's just a Red Bull. It's not like alcohol or anything.
No, you can drink. I don't care.
Right. Okay. Thank
Yeah, so I've been dropping in. I got all these images here, so I haven't dropped in the text yet. But you see, I've been going through here. I think it's
The Muppet
fun
column
here.
is great.
A few of these, like that's the one that I'm missing. I have to extract it some way. So progress is being made right here. That's what's going on. So that is progress right there. I'm going to take that down. But so that's happening. That's happening. I don't know if it'd be the King in Yellow, Red Eye Jack, and the old. Oh, it'd be based on Red Eye Jack and the old ones. That's interesting. Oh,
Makes it
Sour
sound like
Strange says the sour cream and onion is now an embroidery pattern. We're still breaking out with that.
Nice. We're gonna make that a thing.
We're
It's
making
gonna be
that
a thing, just like the Dread Gazebo, man.
Let's see. Yeah, the gazebo. Yes, that would be amazing. And I was thinking there's still a couple more things that I want to do and put. I do want to make some other music videos, but I also do want to make specifically a crop or clip of just the D&D game, and just so you can jump right into the D&D game in season 2 and see if people appreciate that.
That would be cool.
We've had a few more people come in. 65 now, $2,892.
Awesome.
So here we are, 24 minutes.
Nice.
This is very exciting.
Well, that's
Wow.
okay. So Jinx says plushies of the band or patches. I know I want to make, plushies is one of the things that I want to make. And I was actually just looking into that barely again over the past 72 hours. But I was thinking about that for that reason. A lot of people have asked for Zoogs. The Zoogs that appear, that would be amazing. And the lead singer of this band, well, and of course the drummer is also, I think, iconic. But the drummer and the lead singer of the band, the problem I've had getting plushes off the ground is that the manufacturers that I've contacted, this was a couple of years ago, require a 2,000 unit minimum. So that's a lot. When you're talking about Sable, like, okay, what's the minimum that we need to reach for a Kickstarter campaign? Well, okay, we can do plushies, and I would love to, and there are a lot of plushies I would love to do, but we would have like a Kickstarter goal. Kickstarter goal. Did I just say that? Kickstarter goal that would, be a lot more in order to be able to fund like a production run of 2,000 units for a single plush. Which is, what are the Zoogs? No, it is ZOOG.
Oh, I thought it was ZUG.
It's the guys at the end. They're from the Dream Quest of Unknown Kadath. So if you're looking at the Lovecraft,
I'm just entirely mistaken then.
They're in the Dream Quest of Unknown Kadath by Lovecraft, and it's here. Let's see if we can come up with or at least the depiction that we had.
Replace that G with an L, and you have a very different story.
Listen,
Oh, no, wait.
do you smell that?
What's that?
I said, listen, do you smell that?
Oh, yeah. Right.
So the Zoogs. Oh, there we go. There's the Zoog.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, that would be great. So that, this one has generated some ideas for different things like that. And Jinx is like, yeah, that's a lot of plushies. Yikes. Traditionally, board games have been about 1,000 minimum unit run. Of course, they're more expensive, but about 1,000. So when I was talking to people about plushies, and you get to 2,000, like, okay, you've got to have a lot of people who are interested in the plushes to. I mean, you could fill a warehouse of a lot of plushies that don't move very quickly at 2,000 units apiece. So. it's still very much on my mind. The plushes are very much on my mind, but I got to figure out some way to get additional energy and additional eyeballs on what we're doing in order to be able to do something like that. Not impossible, but not where we are at the moment.
It'll be a long-term goal.
Yes. Well, yes. It's been a while. It would be nice to be able to move these things along, but that's that's where we are at the moment. Do we want to talk about season 2? Any thoughts before we close out? We got about 20 minutes left here, but Doug was going to talk about themes or things like that of the Cultist season 2, but he was not able to. Is there anything that you guys want to say about that, or a discussion we could have?
Is this? I'm so sorry. Is this a watch party? I thought we were going to watch as we went.
Oh no, we're just counting down.
Oh, okay.
No.
Apologies. I thought that's what was planned with Doug. I know that he had watched it previously.
Oh no, he has not seen it yet. He was going to watch it before he came on.
Okay.
Then do a and then we were going to talk about themes and storytelling as we were winding down here, but we were not able to do it. We can pull it up.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna take this down. We'll see if we can watch any of it at all. Oh wait. I gotta do this.
Where are you getting your background tunes, man? They're nice and chill.
Well, this is this is actually a built-in to of StreamYard.
Oh, is it? I'll have to investigate.
Yeah, and I forgot that I always forget that the wind down intro doesn't have any background music, and that was because I was intending to play background music through StreamYard, but I never. I always forget about that since it's been so long. So.
Yeah, it's very chill.
I do like it for the evening.
Some water too. I'll be right back.
Let's see. Okay, The Cultist season 2. Okay, here we go. And then share with audio. There we go. No, so I need to turn down. I'll turn off our music. Oh, actually, this is a great question too. Actually, before we get started with that, I'll turn off our music so we can hear what's going on with the Cultists. So Jinx asks, side question, Cultist deception game. Will that move forward? Had fun playtesting it. Oh, you were on the playtest of that. Okay, so here's the problem that we have. This basically the same problem with that. Actually, I don't even know how much Titterpig and James Bacon know about that. But we have that, but it's basically the same thing. That in order to make that, we're going to need to be able to produce a minimum production run of 1,000 copies of the games. So what I had done is I had created originally, when I was moving forward with the Cultists originally, we created a Cultist social deduction game that was, kind of based on Secret Hitler. Because I had such a fantastic time playing Secret Hitler with the cast and crew of the Cultists as our after party. And that might have been the season 1 after party. I mean, it may have been that long ago. We had done season 1 after party beyond this door here in my dungeon gaming room, and we were playing Secret Hitler. And I was like, what would be amazing if we had a Cthulhu Cultist version of this? And so we created that. But once again, we didn't have the what do you want to call it? Energy behind it, or the critical mass. That's the word I was looking for. The critical mass to kind of get that done. So yes, all the files are still sitting here, and they are ready, and I could send them to a manufacturer. But in order to do that, I'm going to have to order 1,000 copies of that game from overseas, which I can do. I have done before. But that's one of my also things I got to think about after this hurdle is that obviously I've got to do a better job getting the word out, promoting things, and getting people who are, letting people know what we're doing so they're able to be a part of something like that. So yes, Brianna did all of the graphic design for that game. It was a lot of fun. I would love to be able to return to it. I would love to be able to bring that to Kickstarter and get it done. But that's one that would definitely have a high goal to achieve, because that can't be done print on demand. That would have to be done traditionally and manufactured overseas with 1,000. So that's my thinking. So I brought the Cultists back out to see how many people we could get, on our side. At the moment, we need many more in order to be able to do production runs like the plushes, like the board games. So at the moment, where I'm on this is going to have to stay kind of print on demand for the next few cycles at least, because I'm not stopping. There are things I want to do, and I want to do more quickly than I did the Cultists. But we're going to have to build in order to be able to have the critical mass in order to do those kinds of projects. So that's where we are. So thank you very much for that question, James.
Well, what was the total number of pledges that you got for this campaign?
For this campaign, we were sitting at 66 people. 66 pledges.
Okay. Yep. Wow, 20, almost 3,000 from 66 people. That's really good.
Yes. Our Strange Meandering says, I probably missed it, so apologies, but why did the actor change portraying Mike's dad? Is he the actor Thomas Robbins? He is not related to me at all. That's coincidental. So there's no relation between those. When I sent out the email to all of the actors saying we were going to do season 2 and if they would like to come back, the only actor who declined was David Orange, who played Dave's dad in season 1. He just sent me an email and said that he was no longer interested. So that was it. So he got recast. That was it.
That's odd. I have to say though that the person that you got to play his dad for the second season was fantastic. So.
Oh, I think so too. Yeah, I think so too.
How's Rob?
I would really love for
Rob's
Tom to come back. If we were able to do more.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm a little worried about Rob. See, ever since we tried to summon Cthulhu, he hasn't been the same.
And even here through StreamYards, it's very framey.
I mean, I get it. Cthulhu didn't appear, and the Cults of the Yellow King, they're still out.
It's what'd you say, Sable?
It's very, I'm sorry. I just was saying that even through StreamYards here in the back end, it's very framey. It's like 2 or 3 frames a second.
That's a lot to deal with.
I don't know why other people are able to stream it.
I'm dealing with it too.
I guess it's my internet.
Just with Rob, it's something else. I just don't know what. So my parents are out of the house today, and I invited the guys over for a little D&D. It's been a while since we rolled the dice together, and I thought it would help take Rob's mind off of things. I think we all need that right now.
Or maybe I just need a new router or something. Who knows what it is? Maybe.
Or I'll tell you what. Can you take us down and let that be just the only thing on the stage? Maybe that'll help.
Oh, that's an idea.
Like 4 feeds.
Yeah, maybe.
I'll try that for a second. I'll try that for a second.
Yeah.
Hey, Rob. How's it going, dude?
I don't know what Mike's making such a big deal about. Everything's fine.
So, Ben, you ever played D&D before?
No.
Oh, don't worry, dude. It's easy.
What kind of character do you play?
I play a cultist.
But you are a cultist.
It's all cultist all the time. You should know this.
So do I get to cast spells?
Yes, you're a wizard.
So,
I
I would be
am.
interested to know what you guys say about this, because Mike says that I know mental health was not an intended idea in season 2, but it seems like the theme is there. It could be my personal lens on things. Did you guys pick up on that, or what did you guys think about that?
I mean, only insofar as that's always the thing with Lovecraftian stuff, right? Like madness is always the central. Everybody in the stories like this is always swirling the madness drain, circling the madness drain.
I agree with you, but I don't
think
necessarily know if that's what Mike's driving at. I think he's driving at like actual like mental health care. And while it's not something that I picked up on in like with that sort of specificity, when you and I were talking about the first season, and the themes that I picked up on were family and belonging, like the family you choose versus the family that you're born into. There's a continuation of that theme, and it's definitely it's a sort of a, now that they've found their family, it's about caring for each individual in the way that best suits them. So I definitely picked up on the continuation of that, and from what I recall in our conversation, that theme was sort of incidental, and this one may also be incidental, but it's I think that what I'm trying to say is that Mike M is correct. I just think that he's maybe put a finer point on it than I did.
Yeah, I would agree with Bacon, is that seems to be the overriding theme. If I was going to pull the main, like the central interrogation, if you want to call it that.
Yes, okay, yes, but yeah.
If I too can see where Mike M is coming from, and I'm not saying he's wrong, but at the same time, this is a comedy, and I think that trying to make a commentary on, unless it's a specific satire about a specific thing, which in some ways this is, but that specific thing is not mental health, right? So especially with a comedy, you have to be really careful not to try and make it be a commentary on something in real life, quote unquote, if that makes any sense. Which I don't think
I don't think it's a commentary. I think it's definitely a theme, though. Like it's not saying anything about mental health in one way or the other. It's just sort of presenting it as a fact of reality, and then it goes about through each character exploring that in the context of a comedy, for sure.
Sure,
a real commentary on
well, yeah,
that's my read, and maybe I'm sure you have a different read, but that's mine.
No, I would largely agree. I just also think that if you want to look at it from a rational standpoint, everybody in the show is insane, right? Like, and that's the point. That's kind of what makes it funny, because we can stand outside of the screen and look at it and point and laugh at how silly everything is. But to the people who are in it, it's not silly at all. It's very serious for them, and that's where that dichotomy that makes it comedic comes in. But objectively speaking, like, nobody in the show is mentally stable. if we're being
are they insane, or are they obsessed?
I mean, well, yeah, that's a good point. But then the question is, where is that? Exactly. Then the question is, where does that line fall? So, and I think that's part of the, if you want to look at the show from that perspective, that's actually an interesting question. I don't think, at least I didn't gather from watching the seasons that was the goal of the show, though, when you guys were creating it.
I think that interestingly, as far as the mental health angle goes, I think that Brianna and I both would have said that if there's somebody who needs help and is, clearly Rob does in an over the top way, but he also
Right.
is getting it. So I mean, you're talking about there's something that is like, okay, what is Lovecraft's relationship with healthcare or mental health or
Yeah.
whatever? Mike clearly, or at least his dad comes in, and so Mike recognizes there's something wrong with Rob, and there's something wrong with Rob for a direct physical reason that they clue in on, that like he's no longer okay because of physical trauma that he has undergone, and is now that. But I think that Brianna and I talked mostly about Ben, and probably this has gone understated in season 1 and season 2, and would be something that we would like to explore more in a season 3, I guess, is that she and I think laid very heavily into his idea that I've got nothing else,
right?
And that Ben is supposed to be, when she told Glenn about playing Ben, she told him that she wanted him to think of Ben as the person who psychologically would be most vulnerable to joining a cult in real life.
See, Ben to me comes off as like the audience insert, because he's so unaware of everything that's going on in the cult. He
100%.
comes, and he also comes across as normal. He has normal drives. He's interested in women. He's like, he's a little dim when it comes to the Dungeons and Dragons and Power Word Kill and all that, and thinking that it's actual spells. But he's really just kind of being led by the nose by the cultists, because he's a little dull-witted, but he's very much a normal guy, and I've always viewed him as the audience insert.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think that's why Ben is so successful.
Okay.
He's so relatable.
Yeah, he is, in essence, he's the main character. Like, I know that Mike is quote unquote the main character because it kind of centers around him, but that audience insert property that Ben has, and the fact that everything Bacon said is right on point, is exactly the kind of impression I got as well, is that he's like, he's us navigating through this weird kind of funhouse mirror world of the cultists.
And there's allegory there too, right? Because it doesn't have to be as literal as a cult that worships the old ones, but how many times are you thrust into a situation at work where it's a new group of people and it's a new project and you're not familiar with the tools and you're not really familiar with the goals, but you kind of have to make heads or tails of it in a really quick sort of way, and in order to make ends meet? It's like there is a very relatable aspect to the alien environment that he's thrust into, right?
Yep, 100%. Definitely.
I think this is a very interesting.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm just very interested to hear you guys say this, because it is true that in some ways, in very direct ways, actually, Ben, season 1 was Ben's arc. It started late in the season because we did some perfunctory stuff, and yes, Mike is the one. It's not audience insert, but Mike is the one who's guiding you, the audience, through what's going on, especially early. Okay, what's discussing the home situation and what is this. So he's kind of guiding you into what this world is going to do. But you're right that that Ben is the one who often has to have things explained to him, and so that's the role of the audience insert.
Yeah,
and
he has the most normal reactions, right? Like he's right. He has the most normal reaction to being kidnapped. He has the most normal reaction to meeting girls. He has the most normal reaction to, being beset upon by all of these really weird friggin' people.
Yeah, exactly.
And then oddly, and then he does also have the arc in season 2. He has, Rob does too. He's entering his madness, and but then he's gone, and then how does everybody cope with this? And then, season 2 also really describes Ben's arc from there. Yeah, it does.
And also, too, the whole the documentary aspect of it, the mockumentary framing device kind of recedes significantly through season 2. It's much more of an actual story, day-to-day kind of like involved with the actual lives of the people rather than being this, Jersey Shore Cthulhu edition or whatever you want to call it, right? That framing device is very funny, and it still does pop up, obviously, right at the start of the season and everything in season 2. But it becomes less important, and it has less relevance to what's actually going on with the characters. I think that, and this is actually a common thing with storylines. You'll see it in webcomics all the time, where the webcomic starts out as kind of like a joke of the week, and then as the characters develop and get backstories and everything, it starts going more and more into drama and like high stakes and all that kind of stuff, and it becomes less comedic and more intense.
We got 5 seconds.
Oh, here we go.
3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. There we go. We got the confetti.
Congratulations.
I was hoping we would get to 3,000, but that's
that 3K would have been great. But I mean, hey, man, round it up, right?
Right?
2,
Yeah,
9, 4, 6. So thank you to everyone who was there. 68 backers. So it ended up being 68 backers.
Nice.
So,
congratulations again. That's a
great.
fantastic
All right.
Kickstarter. That's a very good success.
Congratulations.
So I will
That's
send out a final email here in a few.
Oh,
but
hey,
yeah, no,
here's a great
you're
question.
totally right. Okay.
Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry. I got a bad habit of doing it.
No, I just think you're right, Tier Pig. Brand and I were aware of the fact that, okay, we're having less of the asides as we went through season 2. But that's just how it naturally kind of ended up. And so we just kind of ran with it. But you're right. Yeah, it did become less of that as we went.
I think there's, look,
and
that's a natural progression there, right? Like when you have those asides, it's to really expose elements of the characters to the audience. And once you've done that, once we know who these people are, and you put them in the context of who you want us to know that they are, it's perfectly fine to go forward without doing those asides from then on.
I think that's reasonable. You took the words right out of my mouth, pretty much literally. I was going to say it feels like a natural progression.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing about it that like I know I said on one of the streams in the chat, I said that the first season, like the second season, is objectively better as a filmmaking project, but I still think that I like the first season more just because it has that quirky kind of weird charm that it has, But that doesn't mean that the way that it changed is bad in any way. It feels like it's utterly seamless. You don't even notice it until you look back and you're like, oh, it's less of a mockumentary in season 2. But it just feels so. It just feels so natural. You don't even notice at the time. So it's not a bad thing whatsoever.
Mike also says that Ben is almost innocent in the context of the show. That's true too.
Yes. Yes, 100%.
There we go.
Yeah.
A person being shaped by the culture that the cultists create. Yes.
Well, he's my favorite character just because he's so hangdog. Like everything, he's Eeyore, right? And is like he like just expects everything to go wrong up until the point where he starts trying to cast spells, and then he expects it to go right when there's no hope of it actually doing so, which is funny too in its own way. But
not to someone at such a high level as Steve, right?
Is this the question?
It's not going to work to someone at such a high level as Steve. I'm sorry again for the interruption.
Oh right, yeah, you can.
Megan,
you said that there was the
question
that was really good.
Actually,
is this the one that you were
that's the
about?
question. Do you think Ben could be the hero's journey persona? Okay. So like that question, I kind of want to pick your brain maybe a little bit, Heath, on if that was like, it's a comedy. It is quite clearly, quite intentionally a comedy. That doesn't mean you can't have elements of a hero's journey. However, is that something that you did intentionally? Did you sort of target a character to experience some elements of the hero's journey? Is this something that just sort of happened incidentally? Like what? Because like I said, it's a comedy and it's not, typically not really a hero's journey. Can be, doesn't have to be. generally speaking, is not usually. It's usually situational. But I guess
that was not something I thought about. And Grant and I never discussed. I'm
Okay.
sure I know I was aware of the hero's journey at the time of writing it, but our deep analysis of all those story structures and stuff like that came after the writing of season 2. So that never came up. But it's interesting that part of it is there, because if anybody is going on a journey like that, it is Ben.
Yeah. I mean, he comes in, he has the mentor is taken away from him. He has to step up and start, like, obviously not every step of the journey is there, but there's definitely that similar arc you could follow.
Right. And when I wrote the end scene, which is when someone tries to sacrifice himself, it ended up being Ben. But that scene was written very early on, but it was Mike who did that. And then as we wrote the rest of the season and explored, it naturally became Ben. So that could definitely be that archetype kind of playing out, that it's not Mike who's going to sacrifice himself at the end and try that. That naturally had to be Ben.
Yeah.
At the end of season 1.
I can't think of anybody else who it could have been, honestly. Yeah. Every once in a while you get to a point in the story and it's like, oh yeah, it has to be this way. It couldn't be any other way. Otherwise the story wouldn't work. And I think that that's the case there.
And you could definitely tell a story, and we did deal with Mike's loss of Rob, like his best friend, like that is definitely there. But when you're thinking about the character growth, that naturally has to be Ben. Loss of mentor, like you were just talking about.
Yeah.
Titterpig.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I don't know if I have any way to continue on that very well at the moment. So ignore me.
Well, but it's just that, like, the natural emergence of things. Like, was this something you deliberately thought about, or is this just the natural occurrence? It's fascinating, as we've been studying this for so much time, that there are natural occurrences, and we kind of study this with the idea that these were something foundational psychologically.
Okay.
So, like, when you're going to tell a story and you got the loss of the loss of Rob, yes, we got to deal with how does Mike handle that, because he's his best friend, and then how does Dave deal with that. But when you're telling the story arc does seem to naturally go with the guy who was the
protege,
the pupil, the protege,
Mm-hmm.
For perhaps foundationally psychological reasons.
And that's that would go back. I know that From Where You Dream is a little bit of a fraught subject, but I think that particular aspect of that book is very cogent and very relevant for this kind of thing. A lot of the time, what you put into your story is subconscious. In fact, most of the time, stuff that comes up in your story is subconscious, I would say. And the themes kind of manifest themselves due to that. Too often, if you try and make a story about a particular thing, it just comes off as didactic and preachy and turns people off, because you're saying, hey, this is the way it ought to be, and you're kind of trying to put your own viewpoint, your own philosophy, whatever, and present that as the right thing. Whereas if you just try and tell a good story with good characters, your own personal beliefs are going to manifest through the way you tell that story anyway, but it's not going to be beating people over the head with it. And whether or not, so my whole point with that is, like, I'm sure I know there are obviously conscious choices when a story is being written, but when something feels like it has to happen, like it was a natural progression, I think that a lot of that comes from the subconscious level. So the fact that it had to be Rob or it had to be Ben or whatever doing these certain things in this story to have it advance. I think that's where real thematic consistency comes from. It's not really a conscious, and I'm not somebody who's a published author, so I could just be talking out my rear end, but that's just what I've observed from stories that I've consumed. I've consumed a lot of stories, and I think that's probably the case in the Cultists as well.
Well, I think this has been great. We don't have to go late tonight. I appreciate you guys being here with me to count down the few minutes here, the last hour here, and I think
it was awesome. Thanks for inviting us.
Yeah, thank you very much for the invite. I really appreciate it.
It makes me want to. We can continue this conversation. I think, especially with Doug Comicrat.
Sure.
So I'll message Doug and say, no, we still need to definitely have this conversation. So Doug's going to watch season 2, and yeah, I think he would have some insight too. So, so let's do another. We'll do another stream then. I'll tell Doug, no, we're going to do another stream, some way or another to continue this thing, because I thought you got your insight on the role of Ben and the role of mental health and what's going on. Those I think are all fantastic insights. It's so always fascinating to hear things that you don't even may not have even thought about when you're creating it, a different approach, because once you've made it and it's out there in the world, it's it's no longer yours in a certain sense. It's everything. And so hearing the different ways that people interpret things is fantastic. Oh, Withering Rowan, welcome. For Withering Rowan just came in, so thank you. Withering Rowan says, a very random thing just appearing on my recommended, but Cthulhu is always interesting.
Awesome.
Well, you've come right in here to the very end.
You just missed it.
I know you were. So we were just counting down the Cthulhu, the Cultists, the comedy Cthulhu RPG, and Cthulhu's ABCs on Kickstarter. But if you haven't seen it, we were just talking about the web show that is here on the Cultist channel. Hopefully you're watching on the Cultist side. I look up the Cultists, and there's season 1 and season 2, and we were just talking about the mockumentary web show. So we would love to see you more, Withering Rowan. So welcome. So glad you're here, even though you've just caught the tail end of it. But yes, Star Strange Meandering says, go look up the Cultists and watch the show. Okay, so that's
exactly.
Go see it.
That also brings up a quick question too. Is there going to be an after, like a lot of Kickstarter campaigns have like late pledges or what have you? Or are you going to have something like that available for people? I did not make a late pledge available. Although what I was going to do was going to see if I could just make the books available. I'll look at that right after we're off.
You can throw it up on drive-through really, really easy for print on demand. No, it is a process. Okay. Good.
Yeah, no, it will go there. So I'm going to put the PDF on drive-through, and then
great.
And yeah, I mean, the PDF's gonna be, so it's not like this is the last time it's ever gonna be available. But
right.
Like especially for like the hardcover or something like that, because I was gonna close off the shirts and the things like that, but I was gonna see. I was like, maybe, because we decided not to do the late pledges, but then I was like, maybe if there's some way, and maybe it's too late now that it's already over, just to make the 2 books, the hardcover books, something that could be late pledged over the next 2 weeks or something, while I finish them up before I place the order for them and stuff like that.
I can't imagine that Kickstarter would not give you the opportunity to reopen for late pledges. That has to be. You have to be able to.
Can. and being that it only took Kickstarter 15 years to get a pledge manager.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, that's true.
Kickstarter.
But I'm gonna look at that. I'm not going to turn. I don't want everything's going to be on late pledges or whatever. But if there's some way for me to just put the books on, then I will. But otherwise, we're going to put the PDF on drive-through, and then I'll probably. I need to rebuild the Ravenkeep website, and the Shopify store and stuff like that, because and then in the future be able to bring stuff out much quicker than the whole Cultists did. So there was an autograph book pledge. I had that. So
it was like 64 to 104, I think it was.
Yeah.
So there were several of them.
Yeah, you definitely. Yeah, if you Pledge at the top tier, there's definitely autographed books. I know that.
Because those had to come, because I made that available because anything that had to come to me, because like the shirts are going to come from one location and the books are coming from another. So if you just got a book that's a print on demand book, then it's going to go straight from the printer to you. But if you're getting a print on demand book and a shirt and a sticker, for instance, then I can't ship all those things like 3 times. That would be way too expensive. So they will come to me and then I will aggregate those things into a single box and then I will ship them out and then I can sign things as we go. All right. We're out of here then. Thank you guys so much for being here. And thank you everyone for being a part of the Kickstarter campaign. This is something to build on, I think. It's been a long road, but I think this is something to build on.
I agree.
So thank you everyone to being here, and especially thank you to everyone who's been part of the Kickstarter. I will see you later. Onward and upward.
Take care, everyone.
Excelsior.